Hi Pisces, welcome to your tarot reading for the week of June 4th through 10th. It's Raina here and I am starting over again. I am using the Wild Unknown Tarot. I always want to say Wild World, but Wild Unknown Tarot. And they're very interesting depictions of the cards, but I think it's delightful. Even though some of them are gothic looking, I still think that they are beautiful pen and ink drawings, and they are, to me, in terms of the artwork, quite unique in the decks that I own. So I do enjoy them. The heart of the matter is the Two of Wands. This can be a card of really deliberating, kind of maybe even agonizing. Should I stay where I am or should I move somewhere else? And actually, I've just posted a video for June for Pisces where it talks about having a new moon in Gemini, which is your fourth house of home and family. And that can indicate that you may be moving house or wanting to, or you have an opportunity to do so in some way. But it simply may be that you're indecisive about it. This can also be about an affair, I would say, especially with Wands. There's that passion. There could be like a physical relationship with someone, but maybe you're not quite sure if they are the one. You know you're attracted to the person, but maybe you're not convinced that this person is the love of your life. And so you're kind of reluctant to commit to them, maybe to move in with them or marry them or what have you. The card that is the conflict card, or the card of blockage, is the Nine of Swords. And I mean, is this hilarious or what? You'll have to forgive me. I think I will be using this as a thumbnail if it comes up as a choice when I'm posting this video, because it's just too funny. And as a card of anxiety, though, it makes perfect sense because, you know, there's like there's a jumble of things in a person's psyche when they are feeling anxious. And part of it is what if this happens, and you become so worked into a frenzy because you're afraid of what's going to happen that you forget that you are protected by the universe. And yet, it's smart to think about these things too, because you never know. It might be a crazy, stupid decision. I mean, it might be, you know, crazy to go with a certain person. Or it might be, this is a card, I don't know if I really mentioned this. I was talking about leaving and moving house and stuff like that. But it's also a card you may be wanting to go in two different directions when it comes to a particular career choice. And I'm not saying that all decisions are going to end up well. You might end up where you have to admit later on, wow, I made a bad choice. But with the Nine of Swords, I get the feeling that if a person puts themselves into that state, they probably don't have a lot of faith in themselves. They probably second guess themselves a lot. Or they just tend to be anxious anyway. And it's not just limited to this particular decision that you tend to be like this. And that can actually exacerbate the situation, make it worse, in other words. Because if you don't have faith in things turning out right or you making the right decision, then how can you? By the way, I'm filming during rush hour and I do live by train, so pardon me if you hear trains every 5 minutes. The foundation card that may explain some of this conflict is represented by the Seven of Pentacles. So it may be a situation where you have a second business that you want to just make your full-time business, but you still may not have enough of a return on your investment. In other words, maybe you've been investing time in it and you still haven't gotten up to the point where you're able to support yourself on just that. And maybe it's really not, I was going to say bad enough, but I don't want to use the word bad, but maybe it still is so much in the early stages that it's really next to nothing what you're making. And yet you may be desperate to get out of a situation at work. And so you're kind of feeling this sense of anxiety because you're ready to leave, and yet you don't feel like you can financially. Remember that this can be a choice with relationships. Again, it may be related to someone. I didn't think of it, but now sometimes I think I kind of come up with these things after the fact, where maybe you're waiting on somebody to choose whether or not to be with you or stay with their marriage or committed relationship, whatever you want to call it. And that's producing anxiety within you, as well it should, because we have to get real here, don't we? If somebody is dragging their feet about that, it means that they have ambivalence. They have mixed feelings about it. And I don't know about you, maybe it's just my ego, but I wouldn't want somebody who's kind of half-hearted or isn't quite sure if leaving their marriage is a safe bet for them, because they're not sure how you're going to turn out for them. And so they may choose to stay where they are, or they want to have their cake and eat it too, but you're putting pressure on them. It could be one of those scenarios. And if you're waiting around for somebody to decide whether or not you're important enough to be with full time, you might want to, pull the plug yourself and say, and tell this person, you know what, I've been sitting here waiting for you to make up your mind. Well, I just did. And I'm not going to be somebody's half-hearted choice. I want somebody who's really into me. It sounds like you're still hung up on this person. Call me when you're out of the house or whatever. And really, I wouldn't even do that, because a person like that, if they're cheating on their partner, they're not really necessarily that trustworthy. Doesn't mean that they're evil, bad people. I'm just saying that a lot of times, it's settling for less than you deserve. And sometimes it just takes you to be the one to initiate this, and you find out that you have a lot more guts than you thought you did, which is great. The higher message is represented by the Mother of Pentacles, which is the Queen of Pentacles. I don't know if you can see the baby that's nestled in the mother's back. The Queen of Pentacles is a card about, how they have the Lord of the Manor. Well, what's the female version of that? The Mistress of the Manor? And I don't mean cheating mistress, but the woman of the house. And if this is a relationship, then this person may kind of not want to leave because that person is the mother of their child. And they really respect that. And they feel like, how can I leave the family like this for an affair? How could I do this? How could I break up the family? Then we won't have the mother and the father. Now, it can be sometimes that the mother of this person is interfering. The mother-in-law, just the overprotective mother who meets you and then tells him, that you're not good enough for him, and he listens to her. So if you're dating a Cancer or a Capricorn, that might be what's going on. But this is also a card just in general of this down-to-earth energy that's associated with the 4th house, which is really activated for you in June, especially the first few weeks with the sun there, Pisces. So you might just be in this nesting phase where you're just enjoying your home, maybe enjoying the pleasures of the earth, like gardening, or decorating, doing, investing money to make your home more beautiful for your comfort. So that could be what's going on. But as a spiritual message, it has to mean something more. So I think about what is the soul of house, since that is such an astrological theme for you. And if you are thinking of merging with another person into one household, for instance, what constitutes a happy home? Is it having the most beautiful possessions in the home and having the most tastefully decorated home? Is it an exterior thing or it's an interior thing? It depends on the people and how they get along. So making sure that you are, if you are thinking of kind of like choosing a partner, and maybe there's two people, making sure that either one of them is somebody that you could see spending the rest of your life with and a lot of time with and sharing a physical space with. These questions sometimes don't get asked because people are caught up in that romantic haze, and that's very important. But even like career, maybe this is a thing about you deciding whether or not to either stay home with your child or to have a career. And I think staying at home and maybe having a home business would be the happy medium with the Queen of Pentacles. I'm not sure. This is your card, the Moon, 18, Major Arcana card. This is the mundane or the practical advice. The Moon card is, as advice, is still like kind of more interior. It's intuitive. It's like, what does your heart want? What do you feel inside? Like, if you're feeling a sense of like your emotions running riot, Pisces, don't ignore that. Don't think that there's something about that is just necessary, that's just kind of like random or anything like that. It could totally be that you're on the wrong track. The Moon card, it's very interesting because I suppose since you are connected to Neptune, it's also about self-deception. How do you lie to yourself? And if you are lying to yourself and saying you're so happy when you're really not, that could be the cause of your anxiety, is that you're suppressing negative, anxious emotions, and it's only getting worse. So the Moon card is about kind of like seeing where you are not being honest with yourself, and also about healing. Also about finding that spiritual inspiration to get you through whatever is kind of like a conflict for you at this time. What's coming in is represented by the Six of Cups. Wow, this is the card of soulmates. So there could be, if this is attached to that person, that could certainly be that this person will choose you, maybe, if they're the ones having to make that decision. But this is a card of the past, so it is connected to Cancer. So maybe there's a Cancer person I had mentioned as a joke, but maybe there is. But it's about the past, and I did say that there is a lot of that, and especially in the month of July, you're going to have a solar eclipse in Cancer, and that will actually impact your 5th house of romance. So that could be a new beginning that is a very special new beginning, maybe with a special person for you in love. And so maybe this is a timing card of when this is going to happen. And then for the outcome, I got to see what this is. Okay, so this is a 4 of Wands, but it's in the reversed position. Because in the upright position, 4 of Wands is the card of the happy home. So if we turn it around, there may be delays. If you've been trying to close on a home, there may be some reason why you can't in the month of June. But that doesn't mean that you can't do so later on. obviously. It may just be like a short-term thing. However, this can also be a situation where if there's someone who you're currently with, and either one of you are looking for that long-term relationship, it may not be with that person, with that fire sign, if it is a fire sign. Because in the reversed position, it may show that that's no-go. But I have a feeling, as I said, that if, for instance, you're choosing between two people, it might be because each one has what the other one doesn't, but neither one has enough stellar qualities to make them an easy choice in and of themselves. So you may just be kind of going along and having your fun, and with maybe a couple of potential relationships, and yet deep down you know that neither one is the person, and perhaps you will move away from that, or the universe may prod you in the direction that leads you to meet this person who may be like a soulmate for you. And if this is career related, then it could be that you end up not relocating or not buying a house. Because I feel like for some people, if you are moving house, it might even be because of a job offer or something like that. And so you may decide not to take it. You may feel so much anxiety that you realize that there's something about it that you sense isn't good for you. And you may be right. It may be, you're being offered something that's too good to be true. And I should have said that too for job offers with the moon card, is be careful that you're not being deceived by others. Because sometimes the moon card can be that there is information that is not being revealed to you, that you're getting half-truths. And so that obviously wouldn't be good. So it seems to me like it's a good reading overall because you're kind of on top of things. Okay, Pisces. Well, that's quite a lot for 1 week. I can't seem to get away with, from these long readings. So don't get too hung up on timelines. Be more interested in whether or not this seems to be kind of what you're going through. And if you'd like a private reading, the link is below. Take care. Bye.